Just imagine a man already 37 began to study Chinese. So that is the interest. That is the curiosity. He would like to know more. So there's Professor He Bingyi, and the former director of Needham Research Institute, said a very interesting sentence. And I have to write this sentence in Chinese. I can't translate it in English. If I translate in English, you don't understand it. And let me read it, and you try to understand. He said, 假如没有鲁桂珍，就不会有李约瑟。只是在生物化学的领域有一个 Joseph Needham. So you have to understand the difference between the name. So the 李约瑟, that means the Chinese name. So only the Joseph Needham did research in the history of science, and then the Chinese people remember his name, 李约瑟, rather than Joseph Needham, right? But if you use Joseph Needham, that's biochemistry, right? So, and then that is the evidence how tough studying Chinese for a bit old man, non-Chinese, it's one by one. Look at here. This is one word with English explanation. And I think that Dr. Lu Guizhen helped him a lot to do this. And that is the note by Li Yuese, by Joseph Needham, wrote to Dr. Lu Guizhen. Look at here. This is English, this is Chinese. Look at here, just 2 years. He wrote his name in a beautiful way. This is Li Yuese, isn't it? Right? So this is a name in Chinese. And also very important. In this period, in the 1930s, in Cambridge, there is a group of scholars. They are talking about civilization and how science influences the society. And one of the great scholars is called Bernard. And he wrote this book. It's called The Social Function of Science. This book was published in 1939. And there's one sentence here. It said it would be interesting to inquire how it was, in fact, that the appearance of modern science and the technical revolution that followed it did not occur in China, rather than in the West. So this means why the science developed in Europe, not in China. So this is the Needham question, right? So the Joseph Needham's interest in China becomes so strong. So he's trying to contact all the organizations that Britain has connections with China and try to explore a way to come to China to do a research. So he did a lot of contact, like a British Council and also other organizations in Britain with connections with China. And finally, it was sorted out. And in 1943, he went to China. And that is the Joseph Needham summarized his purpose to go to China. This was published in Chinese in the Chinese newspaper. He talked to the reporters, and his purpose for his mission to go to China is to build up close links with government departments and investigate academic needs of Chinese universities, and then the possibility for exchange scholars. That is the normal one as a diplomat. But most important thing is that the sentence here. So here I go to deliver the lectures. That's fine. The last sentence is that so far there is no books of the history of science describing the origins of China's great contributions. So that is before he went to China. He already has a clear idea. He's going to do the investigation. What kind of contributions China made to the human civilizations. So that is so he arrived in China, and he did what he said, to visit so many organizations, academic organizations. He has one photograph here. And he also made a suggestion to establish an organization or agency. It's called 中英科学合作馆, Sino-British Science Cooperation Bureau. So he became the director of this agency. And that's the picture it's showing when he was the director of this cooperation bureau. He traveled in China, many different places. The transportation is this truck, right? And here you got the name, the 中英科学合作馆. And here you can see I'm showing this truck is easily break down. Is always deal with, to repair this truck. It's really difficult. And I myself travel in the northwest China now, and with very good car, and we still encounter so many difficulties. You just imagine this happened in 1940s. This is wartime, This is the only truck it's traveled in this area. You don't have a very good highway or these kind of things. So you have very great encourage to travel to China to do all these investigation. What he did? Look at these pictures, right? Everyone may recognize this is a very famous the Deng Huang. He arrived this place, and unfortunately his truck break down here, and for 2 months. And he stayed in Dunhuang for 2 months. And everyone said, oh, they were so lucky. In Dunhuang, you can look at all these beautiful pictures. Look at here. Enjoy yourself. But actually, look at Joseph Needham's diary. Every day, he's worried about whether or not he can get back to Chongqing. He had a more important work to do there rather than in Dunhuang. He's always looking for all these repairing parts. Has come to Dunhuang to repair his truck. Without truck, he can't return. So that's, of course, sometimes he used on the horse back, to look around. And also he's visiting the school, like this industry cooperation school in northwest China, and it's not so clear. It's called 公和组织 here. And also he visited factories and record all the interesting stuff related to the science and technology or the traditional technology. And here you can see the traditional smelting furnace here, and also this research institution. And many other things like the bridge building here, and also the factory, and also the mineral resource investigation, and the research institution.